Why not ask yourself if the choices or decisions you're making will make your personality be questioned in the future? You have to be conscious and intentional about what you do every day. An excerpt from The Racing of the 144,000. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and to the review of The Racing of the 144,000, which is a book that I recently finished reading. And my review of this book is actually going to be very straight to the point. I won't be talking too much about it, and I'll be giving you a few illustrations of what I consider the book to be. Actually, the book is more like an anthology. It's a compilation of writing, of short stories, of some description, of some articles from different authors coming together to form this The Racing of the 144,000. And the author have been recognized as the golden team. So we have it as The Racing of the 144,000 by the golden team. Yeah, so this book actually, from my own illustration and from my own understanding of what I consider it to be, it's more like an anthology of writing whose theme are centered on life issues. It is absolutely humanistic. It is absolutely human oriented, and this is one thing I love about reading. I love reading books that would allow you to have some knowledge about some certain titles pertaining to living rightly and stuff like that. Well, I wouldn't say it is not a self-help, but it is very spiritual. Some part of it contains real life stories, some part of it contains some motivation sort of writing, other part contains a bit of philosophy. It's a compilation of work from different authors, and authors writing in theme of memoir. We have author writing in theme of philosophy. We have other people writing in themes of self-help sort of theme, and basically what we need to know as human being. Yeah, so in the book, we have writing from Leo Marx, we have writing from Quado, we have writing from Saren Brywhite, we have writing from Akishola Olayinka, we have writing from Daniel Owen Rain, we have writing from Quado also, we have writing from Shan. I love to consider the book like an anthology that contains different life issues. A single book expounding on different life issue in a single phase. The book started with a writing from Leon Marx, which I had the privilege of interviewing several months, I think, ago. And this particular writing from Leon Marx touched on the theme of love, touched on the theme of the things you need to know as far as living is concerned. Also touched on the theme of love, discipline, seeking the truth, wisdom, and some other amazing title in there. Then from Leon Marx, we moved into writing by Quado, and I particularly love Quado's description of the definition of good and bad. Quado's writing in this book is one that I consider to be philosophical. I think it would be the most philosophical of all of the writers, because it touched about another theme which I'm going to be talking about afterward, because I want to pick it following how the book started from the very intro to the last door. I'm going to make it exploratory, of course. I'm not going to say everything about the book. Yeah, so I love Quado's illustration and definition of good and evil, and the fact that I think he made mention that we human beings have both good and bad nature in ourselves, and it is what we express that define our personality. I can be good and I can also be very wicked if I'm being showed that wickedness, if something try to trigger off the most terrible and most dreadful side of me, stuff like that. Yeah. And again, I love the fact that he mentioned fifth dimension, and it reminds me of a particular movie series I've been following for some while now, Batio, if you would love to watch it, where the characters mention the fifth dimension. I've never been to the fifth dimension before. I think that kind of looked like the higher dimension of spirituality, space, stuff like that. I'm still trying to explore more on what this fifth dimension of a thing is all about. From Carter's writing, we're moving to Shan. Then I particularly love Shank's exploration of God. From Shank, we enter Daniel Owen Ring's writing. And Daniel kind of touched a bit on the theme of pain and the advantages that kind of follow up with pain. The things are like, it reminds me of one of my writing that I titled The Sweetness of Tears, like the aftermath of some terrible event. And again, he mentioned that there are some situations, there are some hard things that we pass through in life that kind of give us wisdom, knowledge, understanding about around that said circumstances. And this actually got me nodding my head because I've had so many perceptions, so many explorations from titles of the things that I have passed through myself terribly. He mentioned that there's some situation that's Daniel Owen Rain. He mentioned that there's some situation that grants him wisdom due to the pains, due to the trials and tribulation that he has passed through. So that's a very amazing statement to make, and I can relate to it even as a poet and as someone who has had a bit of some pain. Yeah. Then let's move into Siren Braithwaite writing, which hilariously happened to be my best article or session in this entire book. So the story of Siren is titled Trials and Tribulation, and I had the privilege also of interviewing I think a week or several weeks ago, where we talk about a story. So Siren had a very terrible, heart-wrenching, hard, sad, horrific experience, and I'm quite excited really that she can come up and talk about the story. So Siren talked about growing up. First of all, there are actually different themes in Siren's story. And pardon me, I love to go a bit. I won't be talking much about it anyway. But I love to mention. I love to touch on some themes and titles. So first of all, the first theme in Siren's writing is I experience with discrimination, racial discrimination. The second theme was rape experiences with someone who is close to her, and that's the boyfriend of her mother. I think something happened to the father thereabout, so the mother had to find another lover, etc. And this particular man would rape Siren whenever the mother is not around. And Siren always tried to voice it out, but this said man kept instilling fear in her heart. Over and over again, the experiences that this man had with her, and how she would run away from home because she's trying to save herself. And even when she try, explaining to her mother that this is what she's passing through. My goodness, that's one thing I love about this book, or of every story or every novel, written non-fiction or fiction that I read, is the fact that there are space for us to learn. There's space of correction where people get to read this book and say, oh yeah, learn that yeah, as a parent, I should endeavor to listen to my son or daughter whenever they want to speak, whenever they have something to say. So the mother saw that Siren obviously hated this guy, and she had no idea why she hated him. She wouldn't ask. And even when Siren didn't want to try speaking up, the man has instilled fear in her heart. Anyway, so first of all was the case of racial discrimination, which she experienced in a very hard way. I'm quite excited to know that she was able to stand for herself along the line and overcome it. Because yeah, part of my conversation with her, I remember we talking about you standing your ground, not allowing people to take you for granted. The story of Siren, the theme of racial discrimination, the theme of rape, violence, sexual abuse, and also the theme of our experience in the prison, which I would have loved to talk more about. Might want to get a book, yeah. So, Siren expresses from one art issue to another problem, from one problem to another. It's more like a roller coaster, and at some point I'm like, what? When are you gonna ever find rest? Because it keeps unfolding over and over again from one trouble to another, and it's very compelling, really, and it stands as one of my most admirable section in the book. Of our experiences also, affected her education. There's sometimes she were She was put on family. She was put on family foster, trying to foster her with some Caucasian family of sort. And when she got there, she realized that it's of no different from where she's coming from. So multiple times she left home and trying to just find a place for herself until she began to grow and get to know how to manage her life, get a space for herself, started working, etc. So it's an amazing roller coaster. I won't be giving much away anyway. So then, from Siren's story too, we enter the story of Akinshola. Yeah, before moving to Akinshola Olayinka's story, I want to say that most of these authors writing touch on the theme of spirituality. Once you have one author talking about this part, there's always a blend of spirituality in the author's writing. So that gets me back to Silence writing when she talked about the particular spirit that comes to her whenever she's sleeping. Yeah, the incubus spirit, because it got a name. Yeah, sure, and other things. Then she talked about a suicide thought, violence, rape, sexual abuse, so many things actually, so many things. Now, Akinshola Olayinka's writing to me sounds more like a bit of a self-help writing. It's quite inspirational, and it is from him that I recite the excerpt in the first section of this video, where I read that why not ask yourself if the decision choices you are making will make your personality to be questioned in the future. So you have to be conscious and intentional about what you do every day. Yeah. So Akishola was so keen on preserving integrity. I love his take on integrity and on how to keep your head safe, keep your head above the water as an upcoming person, as someone who desire a good life, as someone who has a future ahead of him, as someone who has a reputation to preserve. You have to be careful of the things you do, the decision you make today, because the happiness of today determines where your mind is going tomorrow. So yeah, I think that's one of the crucial things that I can add in Akishola's writing. And coming back to Kwado's writing, the philosopher among the writer, here I love his take or his question about, do your breath belongs to you? Do you have power over your breath? And like I said, Kwado's writing of all looks the most philosophical here, and as a philosopher myself, I can relate to most of the things he talked about, because some writing got me remembering my own personal writing. I remember I wrote a poem on the title, Is Your Breath Yours? And now Kwado is asking, do you determine what happens to you the next day? Do you have power over your life? Where does your breath come from? And so many things, Kwado is so keen and subtle in its approach to asking questions in this particular anthology. And I particularly love these questions, really. That sounds very amazing to me. Very amazing, philosophical, descriptive. It's a one that would arouse argument, conversation, and some titles. And I remember reading another subtitle in the name of Who is God and the Devil? And the rapture is here now. And some other amazing themes mentioned in the book. And yeah, to know that the book actually have a second series, I was quite excited to know about that, and I'm looking forward to it and see how the story will be continued in the upcoming series. Yeah, so this is just my thoughts, my short review on this book. I don't want to give much away. I just want to just want to give you a short video book recommendation, just so you can have an idea of what this golden team had put together in this amazing anthology. And if you would love to get a copy of The Racing of the 144,000, I left a link in the description part of this video book review where you can get a copy directly on Amazon. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my short video book recommendation of The Racing of the 144,000. It's an amazing read to me. Quite pulling, philosophical, spiritual, and amazing. And yeah, I want to thank everybody who has subscribed to this channel so far. We are very close to 8,000 subscribers, and I'm so excited about that. Thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing. Please leave me a comment in the comment section. I'll be so happy to see what you think or what you think about this. Thank you so much, and see you in my next video. Goodbye.